Hello and welcome back to another video. In this video I will be talking about the Dragon Eye event. The last recording that I took I had to scrap because everything of noise happened at the same time. It was completely quiet until I started to record, and now it is happening again. It is not really anything I can do about that. What I just did is I did all of my dungeon smashes. That means I got 3.5k Dragon Eyes. Just to start off with that. Now, the Dragon Eye event. You get rewarded for spending a certain amount of Dragon Eyes. These Dragon Eyes can be obtained in several different methods. Using stamina is one of them. Let me just go back here and find the stamina event. For every 2 stamina you use, you get 3 Dragon Eyes. That definitely helps during a week. It's like 10k or so. 10k, maybe 20k if you do rifts. It helps. It's not a lot of it, but it helps. The main thing that you go for is hero fragments, because you can sell these. Let me just show you. If I did this, I'm not going to sell them right now. Let's say that I did this, now I instantly get a lot of Dragon Eyes. I'm not going to sell my Lance Hunter fragments, but for up to 50,000, that means 10,000 hero fragments, you get a 1:5 ratio. Then you get a 1:4, 1:3. Unless you have a lot of 15-star heroes, you should not be going up to this bracket, and just save it up to this point. Now, a lot of players ask me what legendary hero you should be getting as a newer player from the legendary hero exchange. The answer to that question is none of them. They take so long to build, and if you do that, you will not be getting any normal heroes up. That is what I will be talking about this event, what normal heroes to buy. Normal heroes are just as good as legendary heroes. It is just the fact that they are way easier to build, and you can build a lot of them at a time instead of just having one with Jade that you can build at a time. So the answer to this question is, unless you have a lot of 15-star normal heroes already, the answer is none of them. Especially with strength. Now, what I will be doing now is I will be talking a little about what normal heroes you can sell and which ones I sell. Let us start with agility. That is fun to start with. First one, Nightblade. He is basically known as the worst hero in the game. He is more of a meme than an actual hero. He has gotten a lot of buffs lately, well, in the last like 5 years, and he's still one of the worst heroes in the game. He's not the worst hero in the game, but for most players he is a hero that you can easily sell. He has some good dodge capabilities, but why make a 15-star Nightblade when you can just use a 6-star Sobek and get the same job done? Like seeking 300 Jade or like even like 700, 800 Jade versus building a hero for like 6 months or even a year. Definitely go Sobek instead of Nightblade. So Nightblade, he is a good seller, but he has one good part for him, and that comes in bonds right here. Once you get him up, you get an attack boost for Wolf, and Wolf is one of the best damage dealers in the entire game. So if you get him up to 15-star and Vampire, that is a 7% attack boost, which is a fair amount of damage bonus. But that's mainly his only reason. He can be good in some agility towers, but it's... yeah, we don't really talk about Nightblade that much. He is the kind of hero that some people, if you get him in here, like if you got him in here, you reroll. Just for the memes. Now, let us go on. Lance Hunter, he is a very good hero. He puts a mark on an enemy that can be a boss or just a normal enemy, and that enemy will take a lot of extra damage, as you can see right here. 75% damage increase. He also reduces the energy of the enemy. That can be very helpful against like bosses. If they're just about to do their active, he can just use his active beforehand and have a lot more time to live before that boss active actually comes, because the energy is just gone. He is similar to Jared, who also has an active that does that, but an issue that he has is the fact that some bosses have drain res, so you can just try him several times and it will not work, but it will work in the end. He is a very good hero. He increases the damage the enemy takes. That is also very good against bosses. He was basically best in slot until Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh does not increase the damage by 75%. Gilgamesh increases it by 120% and increases the crit as well. So for Dragon and Expedition, if you can choose between the two, it is always Gilgamesh. Well, if you have a 5-star Gilgamesh with no gear, no anything, and a 15-star Lance Hunter will win, but that's because you haven't built it at all. So that's your problem. He is definitely a hero you do not sell at any point until you have him 15-star. Because he is also really good in Expedition if you want to focus on your guild and do anything in there. Definitely do not sell Lance Hunter. Rifleman. He is very good with his blind. Reduces their hit rate. He can be very good against bosses. He has a lot of damage potential. He is good in the map. He is good in a lot of places. Most people will sell him because they won't be using him anytime soon, but he will be very good in ROM because of his blind. Because if you have a boss that is very dangerous for you, you can just put a rifleman up there and he can make that boss a lot easier. He's not the best at anything, he's not like the best damage dealer or anything. That comes soon. But he is very strong. So if you want to focus with agility heroes like at all, he should probably not be sold. But you can just use Wolf instead if you really want the massive damage. Crossbowman, early game. Early game Crossbowman is basically an S tier hero. Put some Boots of Hermes on him. This right here. Put some Boots of Hermes on him early game, and he will just annihilate everything. He just uses an active, instantly kills an enemy, gets energy back, or even if he kills 2 enemies, gets energy back, and then can use his active once again. He is very good for early game, but as soon as enemies start to get defense up, he loses a lot of his damage potential. It doesn't help that he doesn't even have a PD talent. So super early game he's great, but he is a hero that you very good find to sell. He also had a buff 2 years ago where the devs tried to buff him, but they ended up by I don't really remember what they did, but it didn't work well, and the hero just lost almost all of his damage potential with tier 3 armor. So he is not good basically that much at all anymore. Next hero. There are some heroes that I will be talking about later that you have to buy because of just how good they are at what they're doing. Wolf is one of those heroes. If I remember correctly, he is the 5th best single target damage dealer in the entire game. And the heroes on top of him is Hamuri, Nurgle, Anubrake, and Singiffen. He is basically unmatched by almost all legendary damage dealers. He is better than all normal hero damage dealers. He has some good lifesteal, and in Agiram he is incredibly strong against almost all the seasons. Bizarre Skin is very dangerous. Oof, we don't talk about Bizarre Skin. Where the bleed can just kill off your entire team, and he has some really good synergies. Just an incredible hero. If you ever sell this hero, you're doing something desperately wrong. Even if you are getting to the point of being a VIP 13 player. He is still an amazing hero. And not only for Dragon, he is also good. He is also one of the best statue of heroes in the entire game that you can be using for that. He can just get a crit hit, just instantly poof away one of the enemies in here. So yeah, definitely buy and do not at any cost sell Wolf. Gunner, he has some good damage and he's not bad or well, she's not a bad hero or anything, but I haven't been able to use her, and a lot of people who have her always replace her with someone else, and from everything that I know about her, she is also worth a sell. Phantom Assassin has one great use, Cryo Ape in Agiram. Yeah, that's basically it. So if you want to focus on Agiram, great hero. If not, you can sell or she's good in PvP, but PvP is a pretty worthless game mode, so we don't really need to talk about that. That Swordsman is one of the best agility tanks just because of his immunity. He is good in a lot of Statue of Heroes weeks, especially stuff like Goblin Mage, because his immunity makes him immune even to the Mystic Shields. If you want to focus on agility, he is not a hero you sell. As easy as that. Next one. Firstly, I also need to say that there are 4 heroes in the game that you cannot be getting from any dungeons, and that is Skeleton Warrior. Let me find him. Skeleton Warrior, Hellfire Hunter, Dragon Toxicologist, and lastly Bat Warrior. None of these you sell. That is a good point for you to know. None of those you sell. Next up, Hellfire Hunter is really good hero. He has some good AoE and single target damage. He is incredible in both PvP, PvE. He destroys the agility tower. He is good in basically anything you can do. Unless you have a leader build with Kasumi, he will be your main AoE damage dealer. Well, unless you have Franken as well. So he is a very good hero to have built. He is also really good in Fiend's Layers, both in caves and other stuff. So yeah, if you want to build him, he is definitely a hero you can build. Bad Warrior, I have not been able to use her, and a lot of people have not been able to use her either because she's all new. But from what I can tell, she's one of the best healers in the entire game if you have a lot of bleed. Which means if you use her in a team with Kasumi and Wolf, which you probably should be using unless you have played for a long time, she can just keep your team alive so well. I will currently on my main account, I am buying her fragments right now because I want to have her up when I get to do properly in Agiram. She will do really well, and I'm so happy to be building her. She is definitely a hero you can buy. Just remember, she does not come for free basically anywhere, so it is all just buying her normally, which can take a very long time. For magic attack, Elf Archer, so there are so many better options than Elf Archer. Oh. Prince of Persia, he has a really good stun. He has a lot of damage as well. He charges the hero with the highest int, which means that this one, no, this one. Where is it? Yeah, 4 times. All of those can crit, and whenever he crits, he heals the hero with highest int, and gives it 80 energy. So this one battle skill right here can heal over 40,000 HP and 320 energy to the hero with the most int. If that is your damage dealer, that is a lot of damage. But not just that, he also increases MDE of all heroes by 10%. So that is really, really strong. He is one of the best normal heroes in the entire game. But Kazumi kind of exists right now. She does her job way better, but not until she becomes 13 star. These two used to be the meta for Dragon. Gilgamesh replaced him, Lance Hunter, and Kazumi replaced Poppy. Poppy is still very good to this day, even with Kazumi, and if you don't have her up to 13 star, he will be better. Unless you're desperately requiring the extra MDE that this one gives. Next up, we can talk about int heroes. All of the normal heroes are here. Priest, best hero in the best healer in the entire game, no questions asked. If you sell Priest, you should really be rethinking your life choices, because Priest is the best healer in the entire game. If people say Shaman is, they don't know what they're talking about. Alchemist, he works fine at 5 star or 3 star or anything, so he is a fine hero that you can sell. If you build him, he has some really good niche uses, but it's nothing that you can't do without him. Archmage used to be one of the best AoE damage dealers in the entire game, but has been mostly replaced by heroes like Mathos, Anna Break, Moody, even Undine. If you build Archmage, you will have some good uses out of her. Her damage is really strong and she boosts herself really well, works well with buffs. But in today's meta, just use a 6 star and a break and you get the job done better. So she is a hero that I'm selling. Vampire, the best tank in the game. And yes, he is not really what you can call a tank because he doesn't have block talents. But his HP is unmatched by anyone. He can reach HP pools of over 1,000,000 HP. Just anything doing damage, put Vampire on there and there is no damage. Pair him with Vampire's Tooth, the relic, and just any enemy will be gone. He is one of the 4 tanks that I will be talking about later. If you choose him as a new player, you will love him. Next up, Bishop. He is also very good. He helps if you have underdeveloped heroes. If you are using cheese teams, if you're using Joan or Anathena, and you get to points way earlier than you're supposed to be, he is very, very good at that. He is good at removing debuffs on himself, and he also has one of the better shields in the entire game. A great tank. Well, he's not really a tank, but he has some things that makes him tanky, and a very good shield. He is one of the heroes that you can buy, and you would love him if you do. Dryad, do not sell Dryad. Just do not sell a Dryad. His active is really good because it makes enemies unable to heal. That is really good, but he also heals your team. If you're using him on the front line, you will heal the 2 other heroes. Once you get him up to 13 star, he becomes an actual proper hero, like actual proper healer. He's not a hero you can use as a tank before you got proper gear, but even lower star, he works pretty well. But if you get him up in stars, he will really help to keep your team alive. And there are some things you really need and want him to. You don't have to buy a Dryad, but you should definitely not sell him. Blood Mage, also one of the best damage dealers in the entire game. He is very good against Dragon, and he also reduces the damage that you take by reducing the damage that they deal by 45%, not 54%. That is very good against Dragon. But if you go with Honor Break, you don't really need Blood Mage. If you do not go with Honor Break, oh, definitely go Blood Mage all the way. Shaman. Shaman is one of the better healers in the entire game, but he doesn't do anything that can't be replaced by any other heroes. Priest does. Priest is the best healer in the entire game, so you should be building Priest, not Shaman. Shaman is very good in Statue of Heroes, very good in a lot of game modes, but Priest is just the best. Master Tactician, PvP. If you do not want to do PvP, you're fine without him. If you do want to do PvP, he's one of the best heroes in the entire game. Goblin Mage, he is one of the tanks that I will be talking about later. His Mystic Shield is just incredibly strong. He can just stack up and stack up and stack up. He can take a lot of damage and not even take it on his HP pool. And every single Mystic Shield that dies just does a lot of fixed damage to the opponent. He is much harder to build than the other tanks because his dungeon is in the 110 area. But if you build him, you will love him. Goblin Mage is my favorite hero in the entire game. If Gladiators is an issue, he just looks up at them, gets some Mystic Shields, Gladiator uses it to attack and just does nothing. And he also kills himself on the Mystic Shield. Goblin Mage, an amazing hero. Detox, he is a He's a weird hero. He does a lot of fixed damage, and he also has an MD talent. He works well with a poison build, but there's like 2 poison heroes in the entire game. Do not sell him though. Strength heroes, now it is getting more fun. Paladin, he has a really good magic shield. So if you want to build him, you can, but he's not a hero that is required for anything. He is very good if you do build him though. Archangel, he used to be really good, but he isn't really required for anything. He is good that he comes back if you dies, but you would rather have a hero that just doesn't die in the first place. He has a really good debuff though. He is a good hero as a whole, but he is a hero that I am selling. Same with Paladin. Both are good if used correctly, but if you don't really care that much about Strength ROM, you're not really required it. As for Strength ROM, Gladiator versus Strength ROM bosses is really good if you do not have Anduin. He can go together with Athena to deal a lot of damage to the bosses so that you can climb higher. But that is mainly his place to be. If you have him for the 108 strength rune, he will be very good, but he's not a hero that is required or anything. Defender is one of the 4 tanks that I will be talking about. He is very good against physical damage. He also has a physical damage shield for allies. It becomes to all allies at 13 star. But that is not the main deal. In order to take a lot of damage, you need his active. It reduces all damage taken by 45%. Great makes tear on this hero. That is really, really strong. But if you still have him die, Advanced Guardian Force, put that on Defender and nothing will touch him. He is very, very good at staying alive. He is also really good in PvP because of his fixed damage. Every time you hit him, he just deals 15,000 fixed damage back to you. If he blocks, and you can get him up to 100% physical block chance and like, I don't know, 95% or so magic, I don't remember. He is a very good hero. Berserker, you need one of 2 heroes. You need Berserker or Dwarf Warrior. One of those 2 you need. Berserker is the best one for bosses. He has a slow, this one, reduces his speed by 45%. That means that, well, for like a flame dragon, every time the flame dragon attacks, he gets a bonus to his attack afterwards. So if he does like 10,000 damage the first time it attacks, next time it's like 15k or like 20k, then it goes up until you just die. Berserker makes them slower. By doing that, the time in between the breaths take longer. That also means that the time it takes until the final hit to just blow all of your heroes away takes a lot longer to come in. So adding Berserker in over a hero that increases damage dealt will increase your total damage output by a lot because you can live so much longer. He's not that good outside of bosses though. Rock Giant, he is, well, for Defender is really one of the best physical tanks in the game. I said one of, not the best. The best, no, Jack. he is he is better for physical boss and physical SOH. He is better for magic SOH. Both of them have some of the similar kit, but Defender is better for physical, and he's better at keeping your team alive. He is better for magic SOH, and he also has a taunt that is really good as well. These two are two of the 4 tanks that you can be choosing about. Executioner, definitely one of the best normal heroes in the entire game. His execute mark just completely goes through enemy's HP, no matter how big that HP pool goes. If that HP pool is 100 million, he will do you will instantly see just how much of an HP pool, how much that execute mark actually does. He is very good in almost all game modes. My voice. He's very good in almost all game modes, and you can use him in the map because of overkill, damage to frontline enemies, and removes all positive effects. He also applies a stack of... Why can't I speak? A stack of execute onto that. Removes all positive buffs. So if Bristleback is an issue, Executioner with the Hour Chan, just Bristleback is no longer an issue. You will just instantly delete those buffs from the front line, and he can do that constantly, over and over and over and over again. And he's active. The damage is not really there itself, but execute mark is really good, and he's good at staying alive. Fairlord, PvP, him dying, poof, everyone dies. Outside of PvP, if you don't care about PvP, you can sell him. Bristleback, he is good in some situations like Crywave, reducing their healing, and also in later stages he is very good. As for right now, his main use is PvP, where he is very good. I don't really care that much about PvP, so I am currently selling him. But he is also really good in RAM for like priests and other stuff, but you can just kill them anyways with like a Mathos or just... He is a good hero, but I have already used him once. On my first account I got him to 13 star and he didn't really do that much. Dwarf Warrior, he is fun. Reduces their speed at the start of the rounds and reduces all their damage dealt. Just that is so useful if you're using Joan and Athena and ZL in map to just speed through. Just use him. It pairs so well with the shields that when the enemies can finally attack, you have a ZL shield and an Athena's shield on top of each other when they can first attack at the start. Just this hero from this command skill alone is so incredibly good in the map. If I were to rank him for early game, mid game, A tier. Not an S tier hero, but an A tier definitely. I have not been able to test him late game, but from some things that I've seen in Fiend's Lair in caves, he does incredibly well. He is also basically one of the best heroes to use on Dragon once you get 3 presets, because he increases the damage they dealt without the need of a Bone Slayer. He also reduces their speed. Skeleton Warrior, I don't even know that much about him actually. I haven't really seen much about him either, so I'm not qualified to talk about him, but you should not sell him anyways. That is the heroes. Now I'm going to go in and sell some fragments. Nightblade I will be selling. I will be selling Alchemist, I will be selling Archmage, I will be selling Paladin, Crossbowman, Gunner, Elf Archer, Archangel. I will also be selling Fairlord, Master Tactician, Bristleback. What I am doing right here is not something you should do, but it is what works for me personally. Let me sell. I now have a lot of Dragonite. Now let me look at my heroes. Currently I have a 14-star Defender, 13-star Executioner, 14-star Poppy, 14-star BM, 14-star Blood Big Berserker. So the heroes that I will be going for is first Lance Hunter, second Wolf, Dryad, and Goblin Mage, I think, on this account. And Blood Mage. And Priest. That is what I will be buying on this account on the early game. There are some heroes that you have to buy no matter what. One is Wolf. You need to buy him no matter what you do. Wolf, number one, you have to buy. Second, you need a slow, and that can be one of the heroes that I was already talking about. That can be Berserker or Dwarf, but you have to get one of them. Next up, you need Priest. Don't ask me about that. You need Priest, the best healer in the entire game. If you don't build him, you will not be able to do the same things in both Fiend's Lairs and Eternal Inferno. It will just become a lot harder for you. Early game is much easier with Shaman. After you get past that point, you will just regret it so much that you never built Priest. And fourth, you need a tank. That can be Rock Giant, that can be Defender, that can be Goblin Mage, or Vampire. Pick one of them and don't sell the others. That's basically what I can say. Pick one of them, the one that you like the most, and do not sell the others. Those are the 4 that you need. After that, it is your choice which ones you want to build. Some good options are Poppy, Blood Mage, Bishop, Dryad, Rifleman, Bat Warrior. Oh, and definitely Executioner. You definitely want Executioner. But those are the 4 that you absolutely need, and you should be prioritizing 6, 7, maybe 8 if you really are low on diamonds. Do not buy any more than that, because it will be so long until you can actually use the heroes. And once you finish heroes to 13 star, you can go and move on to someone else. Now I will just be speeding through some of this. Okay, so that should be enough. Okay, let me get out. Let me see if I got any stars. I got 14 star Lance Hunter. That is nice. Then I will be picking attack. Did I get any more? I got 11 star here. Then I will be picking physical block chance, of course. Any more? Detox. A noob. I didn't summon this when I did the keys. Okay, let me claim. Almost up to 3 rounds, but I will be finishing off that later. Now, from this you get a lot of gold keys. You get 100 jade for every 50k that you use, but a lot of gold keys, but also Dragon Slayer badges. These you can use in this shop right here. What you want to be buying is all of the keys and all of the spins. After that you can be buying jade if you want. Next up on the agenda, I will be talking about this one later on another recording probably. But the main thing that you're doing right here, well, I can just go in and do it right now, I think. I'll just need to get off all of my gear as usual, which sucks. Okay, so right here, let me just pick up BOV for Joan. Can use that, and you can use that. Yeah, let me just go for here. Based on the amount of damage that you do, you get more of the coins. It caps up to 22 per run. This one is pretty hard to deal with as well, but let us see how fast we die. Every time he attacks, he does more damage afterwards. The more the clock goes down, the more damage that he deals, so I will not be able to time out on this one, but I will be able to do some damage. Now he is soon up to 10 stacks on Bird. 10 stacks, yeah, that's really good. He has 100% MD because he has the highest attack. And then just the front line and everything just gone. 22, I got a lot of that, so that is fine. You will be going for that eventually, and when you do get them, you will be picking up 350 of these to get the workers, and if you want to, you can get the 1000 diamonds on one of these as well. Next on the agenda, you have Touchstone of Heroes. Dungeons is 15 magic spin and 500 diamonds, 300,000 essence. That is super fast if you do SOH and get it higher up. 10 million gold and 5,000 there and 500 there. Spend some coins. I can do that pretty easily by just leveling up some gear. Well, that did not work, so I will be using this instead. You can only do this if you're VIP 5 or higher. That should be enough. And lastly, you need to do 200 arena points that you get from just doing arena, and it also gives you 15 stamina potions and 6 maps at the end with the diamonds. This is a really good event, one of the better ones, and it is required for normal hero progression, and normal hero progression is needed for Pinnacle Tower, as you can see right here. I can now upgrade this one. Woohoo! I can now upgrade. I can upgrade this one. Well, no, not anymore. This place sucks. We do not talk about Pinnacle Tower. Pinnacle Tower sucks. But that is basically the most of this event. I will be putting up on screen the heroes that I am currently selling, and in a link down in the description if you want to have that as your guide for what heroes to sell, and also you can get these. Well, I got one Kasumi. Yay! So yeah, that is pretty much the event. It is pretty straightforward, but as I have to say, always do all of your dungeon smashes if you can the entire week, but also the entire month. Buying out all of the stamina potions from here. I am VIP 7, so I can buy 10. Free-to-play players can only buy 3, and you should and you have to do that every single day. So just keep that in mind. You also get a lot of stamina potions from Expedition. That was really good. That was really good. That was somewhat good. That was bad. We don't talk about that one. Okay, that was pretty good. Yeah, already up to 107 already. Expedition is a great source of stamina potions, but also market refreshes. Thank you so much for watching. That is most of the event. As I said, do not be clicking into here. Courage shop. Yeah, just go for Jade. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next week, where I will be trying my hardest to get 3 videos out. One of the videos will be me talking about the new hero that will be coming up. Next up will be an event overview, because it will be Valentine's, I think. Valentine's event, and going over if you should save or keep, and going over the event as a whole. And lastly, a gold key event guide. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.